How are you associated with the hospital?
Is that a voice from the other side, or is it just random noise in our heads? For decades, ghost hunters have used recordings like this as potential proof of life after death. But what does science have to say? Today we're exploring the real story behind electronic voice phenomena, looking at the evidence from believers and the explanations from skeptics. What's really hiding in the static? For paranormal enthusiasts, electronic voice phenomena, or EVP, is one of the most exciting pieces of evidence you can capture. The idea is pretty simple. You go to a quiet spot, ask some questions, and let a digital recorder run. Even if you don't hear anything at the time, when you play it back, you might discover mysterious whispers and phrases. Investigators in the paranormal field often see these as actual responses from spirits, an intelligent attempt to communicate from beyond the grave. They even classify the recordings based on how clear they are. A faint, hard-to-decipher whisper is called a Class C, but a Class A is a voice so clear that almost anyone can understand it without being told what to listen for. When an investigator captures a voice that seems to directly answer a question, it feels like powerful proof that someone is trying to make contact. But science offers a much more down-to-earth explanation, and it starts right inside our own minds. The leading scientific theory behind EVP is something called auditory pareidolia. This is the brain's habit of finding meaningful patterns, especially voices, in random noise. It's the exact same reason we sometimes see faces in clouds or recognizable shapes in the shadows. Our brains are wired to recognize patterns, and when you give them a blast of ambiguous static, they try to connect the dots and find something familiar, like speech. On top of that, a lot of so-called EVPs can be traced back to perfectly normal sources. Things like radio frequency interference, stray signals from cell phones, or even the internal hum of the recorder itself can create sounds that are easily mistaken for ghostly whispers. This is especially true when we're already hoping or expecting to hear something supernatural. Studies have shown that if you tell someone to listen for ghost voices, they're much more likely to hear them in random noise. But what about you? Let's listen to that clip one more time.
How are you associated with the hospital?
What words do you hear, if any at all? Let me know what you think in the comments. So, where does that leave us? On one hand, you have the investigator who hears a clear, intelligent answer. On the other, the scientist who points to the clever tricks of our own perception. EVP sits in that fascinating space between personal experience and scientific fact. The sounds themselves are real, but what causes them is still up for debate. Are we tuning into another plane of existence, or are we just hearing the echoes of what we expect to find? Right now, the answer is still lost in the static.